Darrell, that must give you a great platform to build on now going into what must be a big game for you at Colchester.
Yeah, to be honest, Lee, I put them to bed pretty quickly. The wins, I did enjoy Tuesday night, but then Wednesday I'm straight back to work, straight in the building, working on Colchester. There's no let up for a football manager, and that's exactly the way it should be. So we enjoyed Tuesday night. Obviously, the players enjoyed Tuesday night, but it's only a very, 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 very small stepping stone of where we eventually want to be taking it.
You know what footballing cliches are like. One comes after the other, and the cliche that's being attached to this game between Colchester and Port Vale is a 6-pointer because you're both where you are in the League Two table. How are you viewing that particular fixture? Because on paper it is a big game.
Yeah, yes, there's no getting out of that fact. But at the end of the day, our concentration is on our performance. I think certainly the last three performances, I thought the Oldham warranted a victory, but we didn't get it because we didn't have enough quality in the final third to see out that game. The Bolton game deserved a point for me on performance, and then Tuesday we've obviously got the win and the performance. So for me, let's focus on performance. I work with my players as in just focusing on that, and then the results can take care of themselves. So on to the next one, Colchester away. Obviously a big game. They're down there with us. They'll be looking to win the game, and we'll be looking to win the game.
What kind of response have you seen from your players this week following on from Tuesday? Because you could see the joy and relief following the final whistle.
Yeah, it's natural, isn't it, for players to gain that bit of confidence from the win. A spirited performance that showed a bit of everything, showed us a bit of quality that we had in the first 30 minutes, first half of the game, and then showed us being able to react from them equalising and showing the spirit that we're going to need in abundance in these last 10 games. So there was a lot of positives from that, and you're hoping the players take the confidence from that.
Two players I wanted to ask you about since you've come in, Theo Robinson and Leon Legge, because both prior to your arrival seemed to not be involved whatsoever. Let's start with Leon. Just what have you made of him at centre half? Because he's looked fantastic.
I think the performance has been very consistent from Leon in defensive structure. So, like I said to every single one of my players, and forgive me if I'm repeating myself, is that the slate was clean when I come through the door. I think I've shown that there's been opportunities for a lot of the players, and it's up to those opportunities for those players to take it. Leon Legge took his opportunity, but we need to keep that consistency with that from him. He's a model pro. He's a great lad, and the likes of Theo, he's by his own admission, he's probably not had the impact that he would have liked when he's joined the football club, but he has got a decent goal scoring record at this level, and I thought his work rate the other night was tremendous, leading the line. So we'll be looking for more of the same, obviously with that, and obviously Theo will be wanting to get 1 or 2 goals along the way.
When you talk about clean slates, what's the situation with Harry McCurdy? Because he's someone we've not seen a lot of recently.
Harry's one of those players that is a bit of an enigma, really. You speak to a lot of people in the game about Harry, and he doesn't have a great reputation. But, managers have to manage Maverick, shall we call him. You can see in the training ground that he has that match-winning quality in him. You see the kid's ability. It's unfortunate that he can't be in my 22 now. There's no possible way of me getting him in his 22, because he probably would have been a player that I think I could have got the best out of, if I'm honest. But he has a mechanism, I think, in his head where his biggest strengths become, and I don't mind repeating this, his biggest strengths becomes his confidence and whatnot, but he just has to tone things down a little bit to make sure that he loses that bit of reputation that he's got with the undoubted ability that he has. So I'm trying to work away with him in his mindset on that, to help him, even though he can't help me, to so that he sort of, in his further career, he builds from that.
I was going to say, knowing what you're like as a manager and your skills and what he's like as a player, that must frustrate you that you can't involve him then, from what you've just said on a match.
Yeah, I said that to Harry himself, to be honest with you. But I can also understand why managers and coaches lose a bit of patience with him. So I get both sides of the story. For me, I've always managed in the principle that I'll always try and get the best out of players while they remain my players, unless they're a real negative influence in the group, which I haven't really had many of, because part of your job as a manager is the man management side of things, where you're dealing with different characteristics, different characters, different players. And certainly I think the case with Harry's is his biggest strength becomes his biggest weakness.
Brilliant. All the best tomorrow, Darrell. Thank you.
Top man. Cheers, Lee.
Hi, Darrell. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, Mike. Thanks, mate.
Darrell, you were talking about you were impressed really with the increase in quality on Tuesday. How much is that, do you think, is due to having David Worrell back fit again, and maybe also David Amu available to you again?
Yeah, it gives us, obviously, Wazza and David Amu are more experienced players, isn't it? It gives us a lot more added firepower in them areas of the pitch. But I thought the lads, certainly in the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes of the first half, we really worked our game plan well, which is to get the overloads in wide areas, to get deliveries into the box. And it was a great work goal, wasn't it, for Tom Conlon? So it was nice to see the training ground work that we'd worked hard on against what we were looking to do against Newport to come off. And obviously, Worrell's been around the block, hasn't he? He knows that, and he has that quality.
And Christian Montano, how much better is this side with the attacking options he gives?
Monty, yeah, lad I work with at Bristol Rovers. I thought he's in his games that he's been available for me. He's done very, very well. Obviously, I know Monty, and to be fair to him, at left back, he's filled in fantastically, because I wouldn't have seen that a few years at Bristol Rovers, if I'm honest with you. So he's added that value to his game. He's added that. He has undoubted ability and technique and quality. So hopefully he can stay fit and continue to be a big player for us.
In terms of your plans for next season, how much have you been able to do? Or have you got to wait till you're in the Football League? Always
stuff working on in the background, Mike. I'm a half full sort of type guy, to be honest with you. So always got to be planning ahead. I'm planning ahead positively, if that makes sense, because that's where we want to be heading. So we're doing plenty of work with that, and plenty of work looking at the potential recruitment. You've got to be ahead of the game on that as much as you possibly can be. So plenty of that stuff going on in the background.
And players not in the side at the moment. I just wondered, have you spoken to Jake Taylor? Because obviously he came in January, did quite a big fanfare.
Yeah, no, I manage all my players, Mike. Don't have a problem. All my players are important to me, and my message is crystal clear, isn't it? Is when you get in the team, stay in the team, work hard. I've tweaked a few things, but a lot of the things people call me the tinker man, but I haven't really changed that much, because a lot of the changes have been forced on us on injuries. So for players, they need to come into the team and stay into the team. I'm sure there'll be more opportunities for Jake. I think he's a very, very talented player. I think he can unlock in the final third, but also he has to add that bit of steel to his game. Certainly with the pitch is not great at the minute. They're not free-flowing pitches. A lot of the pitches are on at the minute. So if he can add that steel to his game with the undoubted quality that he has, I see him having a bright future.
And finally, for me, what difference do you think that result has made to the players? Because as well as you've been playing, if they're not getting results, it must be difficult to have that belief.
5 o'clock Saturday, Mike. Listen, let's see where we're at after the game Saturday. We're hoping to build on that. It's another game. It's another big game for us. So let's see where we're at then.
Great, thanks, Darrell.
Cheers, Mike. Top man.
Darrell, obviously, you wanted players to take responsibility, and certainly we've seen that, particularly on Tuesday night. And you wanted leaders, and certainly there was a few on the pitch on Tuesday night, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. They worked really hard, George. Really, really hard I think that without the ball, I think we've been pretty consistent, other than the Cheltenham game, if I'm honest with you. I think our shape and our discipline's been pretty good. But one thing I've been banging the drum on a lot of the times is that extra bit of quality that enables you to win League Two football games. And we had that. You see the first goal that we worked the other day. We were up to a bit of movement on the second goal as well, changing the direction of the free kick where it was going to go. So that bit of quality with the defensive discipline of the team can get you wins at this level.
And certainly the players were getting up in support. You were getting players in the box where before maybe it was just that lone runner, but you were getting more in the box. That was a big factor, Darrell, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've got to take chances in the final third. Be aggressive. That's what I want to be. That's what my teams are renowned for, being aggressive in that, and renowned for creating 20-man goal scorers. And how do you create 20-man goal scorers? Is by getting the ball in the box, getting the ball in dangerous areas, and people committing to that. So that's how you score goals. I mean, the amount of goals that are scored in the second 6-yard box, the statistics don't lie on that. The percentages are in there, and the percentages are 1-touch or a 2-touch finish, mainly a 1-touch finish. So the more times you deliver in them areas and the more players you get in them areas in the final third, the more chances you have of scoring goal. Believe it or not, George, it's not rocket science. We make it look like it's rocket science at times, don't we?
Certainly do. You were a leader, Darrell, and you're a leader on the pitch when you were a player, and you certainly are off it in more ways than one. How important is a captain to you? Because there are certain captains that lead by examples. Some have it in the locker to do it both ways, be your voice on the pitch. And we're hearing a lot of voices off the pitch at the moment because of the state of the play at the moment with the pandemic. But how important is it for someone like Tom Connolly to be your man on the pitch?
I think he's, if I was to pick somebody out that's been very consistent, he'd be one of them in my spell. I didn't think he'd had the strongest first game when I first took over. Then his performance has been strong. I think he quite comfortably could have been on 3-4 goals in the last few games. He arrives late, he arrives with good timing, he's got a great strike. So, and he shows them leader qualities of, not necessarily too vocal, but leading by example. He's been very impressive, and if I can make him a better leader, and I think you can, I think you got to work on leadership groups to make these young men. Tom's a young man, to be better leaders as they go along, and the more leaders you can have in that group, the better.
Finally, from me, Darrell, obviously you started right on the front foot on Tuesday night, and you want to replicate that against Colchester, don't you, really? You want to be the team that's moving forward and get the press against the side who will look to get maximum points against you, won't they?
Yeah, certainly. But like I said, we'll have, like every week, George, every game we play, we'll have a plan. We'll have a process of what we're going to do without the ball and try and hurt them with the ball. So that stays pretty consistent with myself. But you're right, we want to be on the front foot. We want to be on the front foot in all our games, and that's a good habit to try and get into.